Somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? Somebody has got to do it. Now, we're going to see, and who knows? Yeah, look, not the game sound not working. That's what happens. That's what happens when you fafo. You know what I mean? Doing a little fafo. There we go. Yeah, we got sound going on. We have no idea what we're even doing. No, but so I'm sitting here and I'm doing stuff, and of course I got to start fixing all the shiny hair crap that's in this game. Because they fixed it, right? Then they did an update that really fixed it some more. Look at this. Look at the state. Look, shiny hair. Look at this shiny hair. Like, take one down, pass it around. 99 shiny hairs on the wall. What is going on? Jesse the Jackhammer, welcome to the stream. JW Caliber Solo. The man, the myth, the legend. Solo Season Universe. He's about to do something so bold on September 18th. I'm not going to ruin it. You know what I mean? You're either in his Discord or you're not. And then you don't know. You don't get to know what he's doing on September 18th. That almost makes you want to get in this Discord. You know what I mean? Not for the faint at heart, though. But look, every one of these, we got to come in here. We got to do the thing. We got to come all the way back in here. Now we got to come down here. Woo, go to shiny, and then come, look, 100. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? Of course. All I had to do is get online. It never ends. You know what I mean? Never ends. Not a bad thing. I am not complaining. How's everybody else doing? So let's go in and look at some of the stuff that we've done. I'm not going to sit here and do a whole bunch of shiny hair stuff. I just wanted to show you guys, like, if you know, you know, right? I'm almost fine with it. Like, if you look at this, I'm fine with the shiny hair on the attire, like, or with the entrance attire. Like, they walk in, it's shiny. But when they're in the ring, it just looks, ugh. Right? We're not having... I don't know if Solo even watched the last episode that we had. But if you guys remember in the last episode, we made referees. Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. Here's the other problem when you're doing shiny hair. Let's do dubs. I haven't done dubs yet. Watch this on dubs. Do you see the problem with the shiny? Look at the beard. Okay? Look how shiny that beard is. Ridiculous. So we go in here to attire. Go into appearance, right? And then we come in here and look at this. We fix the hair. We bring the hair down. Yeah, it is. I'm excited. Now, if you guys don't know, I won't be here next week, but I'm excited. We've got a lot of things going on. But look at the beard. Hair's not shiny anymore, but the beard is, right? So, yeah, why don't we go in and take the shine out of the beard? Oh, wait, that's not even an option. That's not even possible. Look, it's still shiny. Like you can't, there's nothing you can do except for this. So to fix the beard, guess what you have to do? Delete. Delete. Now I got to come back in here. I think it was this one. Now because the hair's not shiny, look, now the beard's not shiny. So ridiculous. Thanks, 2K. I've got nothing better to do with my time. You know what I mean? I was sitting here going, you know what I would really like to do? Just recreate, take all the shininess out of all the wrestlers that are on this thing. That's what I would love to do that. And 2K, they come through, you know what I mean? People say they don't come through in the clutch, but they're coming through in the clutch right now. I wanted to do a show, but I don't have time. There's not enough time to do a show. And what I'm going to try, I don't even think there's time for me to do this tomorrow, but I was going to try to maybe do our podcast tomorrow. We'll talk about some of the stuff. Now, if you guys haven't done it, go in to the Discord, go all the way down. Go all the way down to Podcast Lounge. There is a question. There's 3 questions, to be fair, that goes up a little bit further that asks this. Who do you think the top 5 greatest wrestlers are of all time? And there's, what's going on, Witcher? Welcome to the stream. The top 5 greatest wrestlers of all time. Who do you think, or what do you think? What do you think are the top 3 traits that make up the great wrestlers? The top 3 traits. Is it their ticket sales, their storylines, the charisma, the influence, the time period, impact, etc., etc.? Like, it could be anything. You could say anything you want to. We've got a lot of same and different answers. And then what drew you to watch wrestling? Like, how did you even get involved in wrestling? And it's funny, you know, like I look at most people's things and what drew most people to wrestling? Their family, their friends, or somebody was watching, you know what I mean? What's going on, Prime Time? Welcome to the stream. That's like the show and the stream and everything, right? Yeah, that's, and look, I'm telling you, there's no right or wrong answers, you know what I mean? But let me tell you something. Like, this is kind of a little bit of what this podcast will be about, because it's going to center around your guys' answers on these 3 questions. And I'll wait till the podcast to tell you my stuff, but it's funny. If I asked you the same question, who are the top 3 NFL franchises? If I asked you the question, who's the top 3 top 5 baseball teams of all time? Or who's the best hockey teams, the NHL teams, the NBA teams, the anybody teams? What's the best college of all time? Best college football team of all time, who is it? If you were being objective, it probably isn't the team you're rooting for. Because when you look at the greatest franchises, the greatest sports teams, the greatest, you point to championships. So it's hard to argue Alabama's not the greatest football team of all time. It would take somebody, if they won the championship every single year, 17 years to even match what they've done. Mount Rushmore has 4 faces on it, though. But it doesn't seem to be the same thing for wrestlers. Let's just look at J.W. Caliber, what he said. Decade's got a lot to do with it, too. Flair, Austin, Piper, Savage, Sting. Great list. You know who's not on that list? The 17-time world champion, John Cena. And I don't think Cena's in my top 5. Cena's great. That's not what I'm saying. There's a lot of great wrestlers. But you just put down a list of 5 people, and those 5 people didn't include The Undertaker. Didn't include Kane. Didn't include John Cena. Didn't include Lex Luger, which I don't think he's the greatest. That's not what I'm saying. But didn't include Goldberg. Like when you look at like some of the greatest accomplishments of all time, and Goldberg's got longevity. Didn't include Brock Lesnar. Didn't include Triple H. Didn't include Shawn Michaels. Didn't include The Rock. And see, we start looking at maybe like the greatest wrestlers or the great wrestlers, and it's hard to include somebody like Harley Race, or it's not so hard to include Terry Funk, but it's hard to include somebody like a Harley Race or a Bruno Sammartino or anybody else that stood in the ring and like wrenched on an arm for over an hour. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I got you, but like that crap wouldn't fly today. Back then it did fly. We had longer attention spans. So, yeah, when you're talking about, and I just say that to say this. I'm not saying they weren't great wrestlers. I'm not saying whatever. But here's the other part. If wrestling wouldn't be here today in the form that it's in right now without a couple guys, and nobody mentioned Hulk Hogan and nobody mentioned Andre the Giant. I mean, there's a couple guys on, in the Discord that said it. So it's a really interesting topic. What's going on, Blaze? Welcome to the show, brother. That's your new face scan right there. And it's kind of like, for baseball fans out there, I believe the record books should reflect like pre-1960, pre-1970. I think the football record books should be for 12 games, for 14 games, for 16 games, for 17 games. Like I believe those records should have stood on their own. Once you change the football thing, now a game, as long as you didn't change, a football game from 60 minutes to 9,000 minutes, then the game records could all, but the season records shouldn't have held that way. When you look at, I think the most wins in a baseball season is 61 by Walter Johnson. Starting pitcher now pitches roughly, if in a 5/4-man rotation, 34 games a year. But then you look at the torque on the shoulder, it's not the same. When you look at football, football is a much faster game. They're bigger, faster, stronger. You even go just back to the 80s. Refrigerator Perry was not running like a 4.3, a 4.2, a sub 4.2, a sub 4.5. You know what I mean? So, and you've got people on the regular doing that now. So now you look at that, you look at the athletes today, you look at the size and the speed and the this. It's not the same game. They're not even playing the same game. We could all joke about the rules are the same, whatever, but it's not the same game. So I just think it's interesting when you look at wrestling, the top 5. If John Cena, if Ric Flair, depending on how you count it, but Ric Flair, 21-time world champion, John Cena, 17-time world champion, we don't look at it the same way, though. Because wrestling's not quite the same when it comes to that. Or the number of days somebody held on to the world title, or, you know, whatever. So, wrestlers, like, it's a different standard. Just a different standard. What's going on, Vipiro? Welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, happy birthday going out to Blaze. So yeah, I find it funny, and it's interesting then when you start looking, because we're starting to create between some of these different E-federations iconic characters. There's 7 seasons of, you know, if we just look at the TCW, there's 7 seasons of the TCW. Everybody knows what Dubs looks like. Everybody knows Blaze, Blackheart. You guys are going to get to know him if you don't. Bama Boy, Boom, Cecil and Kempty, Chilliwack knew, the Walters brothers. They've been around in a lot of different ways, but Digital Dogs, Dragonoff, like Simba. Some of you guys are just learning Simba now. Eagle Star, Grady and Herbie, Drew Hawthorne starting to become one of those guys. GC Rock, Frost up and comer, JW Caliber up and comer here. JW Caliber's been around, and a lot of other people have been around in other federations. Jay Savage, of course. Jake Plague, everybody, like, you know when Jake Plague walks into the ring. You know what I mean? JP, everybody knows when JP comes in. Matt Storm. Oh, I'm so excited about this new Miguel Morales. I was going to save it, but let's just look at it because I like it. If Miguel is trying to bring back the mass wrestlers, that's the storyline here. Like, we saw this version. Here's the new version. I just bought that mask for him. I spent a lot of points, a lot of VC getting the stuff. Oh, look at that. New movesets, new everything. Very excited about that. Yeah, mine's 50 this year. It's coming up in October. You know, Logan's known throughout the different E-federations. Miguel Morales. Here, Milkman. Look at that, one of our referees right there. Recon Delta. Raymond's starting to become a little more famous. Everybody knows R2K, Robbo, Rowdy, Hacksaw. Hacksaw making a name in a lot of different federations. Sean Sanders, Sentinel. A couple people might know Totes. You know, on the women's side, it's the same type of thing. A lot of people know Witcher. The Walker sisters. Miss Nightmare. Anita T's starting to make a name for herself. Angela Star. Brand new face scan for Awesome Christina. I'm excited. I think Diamond Santos is going to be somebody. People know Crimson, and I will no longer allow Crimson to be used in other federations. People can try to make her, but the only real Crimson will be here. That's like one of our staples, you know what I mean? People know Lady Rock from other places. Melinda G making waves all over the place. People know Misty, Mimi, and Phoenix. Ooh, look at that. New little thing. Monica Monroe, known in a lot of different ones. Ozzy, one of the greatest wrestlers. I'd put her up against any female wrestler anywhere. I don't know why, but her moveset every single year, like, it's always on point. Other wrestlers, including Totes, sometimes, like, the moveset, it doesn't click for whatever reason with the new game, and it takes a while to get it dialed in. Ozzy, for whatever reason, always dialed in. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. Rapunzel kind of up and coming. Cheyenne's another one. Cheyenne and Ozzy are the two I'd put up against anybody. Susie making a name. Sid B, of course, immortalized in our universe. Victoria Van Diver multi-time. So, we're starting to get into this thing, where these wrestlers are, and that's what I thought was interesting about even asking this question. A lot of people said Piper. A lot of people said Randy Savage. Quite a few said Hogan. And I look, to be fair, I don't think you can say Hogan isn't number one, but it also depends on what you do. You look at Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan, they're not great wrestlers. They're great storytellers, though. In the ring, they're great storytellers. But you look at, I don't even know if Hogan would make it today. If Hogan just came out like he did, back in the 70s, if he just started today, I don't know, with this style of wrestling, him and Flair never would have made it. You look at how great they are on the mics, but then would they have been subdued? You know what I mean? And then in the ring, as far as like in the ring talent goes, they're not doing the things that are happening today where people are flying around or the big this or the big that, or, that's not their thing. That's not what made them so good. But telling the story in the ring, that's what, they're very, very good at. Not everybody tells the story in the ring, but they're good at doing that. I'm shocked more people didn't say Bret Hart, too. A lot of people, if you're looking at ticket sales, all you had to do is put Stone Cold's name on a billboard and people are buying tickets. You know what I mean? All you had to do is put Hogan, Flair, people are buying tickets. Randy Savage, the Macho Man, Bret Hart, Sting, The Rock, HBK, Taker, Kane. Like, all these guys, all you got to do is put their name on there and people are buying tickets. You know what I mean? Dusty's another one. Like, Dusty Rhodes, kind of one of those things. See, we're already turning this into a podcast. That's not what I was trying to do. All right. What I'm trying to do is, look, I go through these things. I go through the CAWs and I look at them. And while I'm looking at them, I'm like, I'm not like super excited about certain ones. And you should be able to tell because you don't get booked. Not if you're new. If you're new, I'm trying to work things in. But there's others that, like, and I didn't bring my Bark Squad. I got my Bark Squad trainer. Dogs, hush it up. Now they are listening a lot better. I don't even have to hardly yell anymore. But look at this. I can't take this one. Let's fix Paul the Thing. Yeah, we gotta fix the hair, right? Because of Mr. Shine off the shiner. Like, Paul the Thing shouldn't be having shiny hair. That doesn't make any sense. So let's fix up Paul the Thing. Let's see if there's something cooler that we can do with Paul the Thing. That actually didn't go too bad with him, but let's just look at something. Let's look at some things here. What's going on, Jameson? Welcome to the stream, brother. Yeah, no, he did. He did for sure. But I'm just saying what most people would know out of Ric Flair right now. And Ric Flair was one of those ones. Look, he is good in the ring. Like you saw this, like he's got like 12 moves that only he has ever done. Like I've only ever seen him do it. You know, the whole like clothesline up over the thing, onto the apron, walk, somehow back in the ring, fall on his face, like. And look, when I'm saying I don't think they would make it today, that is not a slight on them at all. That is not, so don't take it as, oh, Toad's just slighting the greatest wrestlers of all time. No, I believe they're also the greatest wrestlers of all time. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is today's style, they probably wouldn't have made it. Let's try something here real quick. Okay. This one we would go. This one, what if it was green? Almost to the point. It doesn't look like it's face paint. And then what if this one was green? Okay, phase one. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, you know who my favorite... Thank you, Witcher. It's always good, too. There's a few of the ladies that have filled it out, too, and it's interesting. It's interesting to hear the difference. Guys are pretty much straightforward, like, oh, this guy did the thing, and you know what I mean? So it's good to see the different perspectives on some of it. You know what? That might be the thing we need right there. Let's just color this up. Color me excited. What if now we took this off? Okay. Because I don't like that at all. The way it sits. But I do like that. I like it to be almost to the point where... Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay. It's a new look. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Now we take this, let's paste it on over here. Man, you start looking at stuff too, like the AWA and then the different organizations. Like all of them had their neat things that were in there. But we haven't given Paul like the normal entrance thing, like because we had him coming out. It's so funny. If you guys haven't gone to see the SSU. Solo did something with that was amazing. That used to be how we would have him come out. Think about that now with digital. We'd have to go buy that stuff. And some of the stuff is way too expensive. Like, I'm not doing it. But what if we did something like this, except we made this black really white because they're what? We made that green, like a super light green like that. What if? I swear, this is like I go to get on anything that I do these days, and that's when everybody decides nobody's called me all day. And now people are like, you know what we got to do? We got to give Totes a call. Let's bring the glow down so it's not quite so sharp. There we go. Put a little glow when he's walking in. And then, is it because of the, it's because of the hair? That's weird. Yeah, then we just won't. Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense for Paul. The hair? That's really the holdup? Okay, hold on. Let's just say yes. Let's just say, for grins, yes. Don't know what the gray is for. Oh, it's the inner part of the shell. Okay. Okay. And let's just see, is there something... Uh-huh. It's not bad. It's not a bad little idea. Oh, that's a better idea. I've been waiting for a reason to use this, and maybe Paul's that reason. Maybe Paul just became the reason for the season. Let's do that, and then on these, let's do this. And then on the material, let's make this. And then let's make this. That's freaky. Smoky Mountain Wrestling, yeah. Yeah. See, with Witcher, she says Paige. That's interesting because you know what nobody did? Not one person until Witcher? Depends on it. She spelled Paige like the female wrestler Paige. Nobody named a female wrestler. All right, I kind of like that new little look for Paul. That's scary though. You know what I mean? Like one more little thing, maybe. None of that. I just thought it was interesting. See, like that's interesting. Too many people have that. It's not what I'm looking for. Oh yeah. There you go. That's different. Huh. Not really looking for this, but... Oh, never mind. You can't do anything with the colors, so we're out again. Looks like he ain't wearing nothing down there, you know what I mean? Can't have that. It's kind of interesting. Again, not a thing I was looking for, but the thing that we found. So let's just look at it and see. Okay, it's going to let us change the colors. I like that. Only one we would want to change. Yeah, see how it does that with the stomach right there? Let's see if we can make it a little less. Yeah, entrance attire. Yeah, you did. But like I get the Paige thing. I bet you Paige brought in a lot of female wrestling fans. I mean, she's got a great story. Has a great story. Okay, so we got Paul. The other one, like, oh, see? I'm digging that now. It's another one, the Beast. It's just, I don't know. Changed up the look a little bit. I'm gonna leave it alone for right now. Oh, check this out. We changed up some face scans. Let's look at the face scans. So Anita T, brand new face scan. I like this one way better. Looks very similar, but it is different. I like it. I like it more. Oh yeah, like that's why I said there's no right or wrong answers. You can't be wrong for the answer you give. Your answers. You know what I mean? I just find it interesting. Brand new face scan. Look at this. She might start seeing a lot. Got that like Viking type writing on her. Yeah, that's starting to look like somebody who needs to have a title around her waist. I'm almost determined to make Awesome Christina a staple. She has been in since season 1, and I have not made her a staple yet. Like, I just haven't found out a way to like get her going. Judge Julie Justice, brand new face scan. What? You know what we might need to do, though? Let's just look at this real quick. I like to say, when in Rome, shoot the Romans, right? So let's go in here and let's just look at the eye makeup. Some people can pull off certain things, and some people cannot. And it's funny, every year, like, things will show up different. Like, we used to use this all the time because it showed up a certain way, but now it doesn't show up quite the same. But I still see people trying to use the things that don't show up right. That's interesting. Okay, hold on. Let's just... So we need her clothes on. For now. For now, we'll leave it alone. Now see, different over here. But what we could do with this, let's see if this works. Now we go in here, we're going to go back into appearance, put that back on, come here, little stuff going on here, again. Let's make it so we still want it the over the topness of it, right? A little darker like that, not too bad. Maybe that'll be the entrance attire of the judge. What's going on, Matt Storm? Welcome in. We're just talking wrestling, talking answers. People's top 5 greatest wrestlers. What traits do they believe? What's the top 3 traits in order do you believe makes a great wrestler? Because they're your answers. And then how did you get into the wrestling thing in the first place? You know what's funny? I know for a fact there's people out there that don't watch wrestling that are into this. Nobody's answered that question, though. I haven't seen anybody who has answered the question say, well, I'm not really into wrestling, but I really like this. And we'll have to see how, like, the judge shows up on TV. You know what I mean? Almost the original Aussie, like going back to the roots right there. Brand new face scan for T. Jones. It's close, but it's different. I like this better. It's more defined. The only part, like, is right around just part of the nose with the freckles. Like, it's tough with the freckles. But look, head on, can't even tell. From this distance, you can't tell. I'm excited about the Ashley Perez. Like, I think we did good with her. All right, let's see how this stuff looks in the ring. New Witcher. All right, let's see. Let's do a little test. Probably be the thing we do before we go. Let's look at this one. Let's look at Ashley Perez. Oh, see, I haven't fixed Witcher's entrance yet either. Let's look at T. Mitchell. Oh, and let's look at Awesome Christina. Like, that's like a wholesale change right there. Wholesale change right there. So yeah, if you guys haven't got in the Discord, get into the Discord, go down to the podcast lounge, and go find the 3 questions. I just said what they are. You can see by people's answers what the questions are. Answer the questions, because when I get back, we won't be able to do it next week, but when I get back, you can see, we could be sitting here talking about this for days. For the rest of our days, we could sit there and talk about just these 3 questions, how it relates. And I want to try to get Blaze on. I want to try to get Solo on. I know Solo's got
the
stuff.
The following contest is a fatal 4-way extreme rules match. Making her way to the ring from Jersey City, New Jersey, the All-American Ashley Perez.
That is crazy. If you look at the back, like, we had to do a little toastification to Ashley Perez, but if you look at the back, like, it's still red, white, and blue colors, right? See right there? Even though it's like see-through mesh, still has the red, white, and blue. If this is Witcher, we will skip the entrance. Yes, it is. Oh no! I did change it. Look at the state of this new entrance for Witcher.
And her opponents, first, from the Queen City, the Witch, Tony Cox.
Of course, like, nobody's not going to call me right now. Everybody's going to keep calling.
And from Orangeburg, South Carolina, the Tornado T. From every man's nightmare, awesome Christina!
Never fails. Never, ever, ever fails. I'm going to tell you what. This might be my favorite iteration of Witcher. This is my favorite iteration of Awesome Christina. There was one before, but most of them I don't, and that's why she doesn't get booked. Even though I'm the one who makes her, like, I just, when it comes down to it, there's just things that don't. I like this version of TJ. I like the new face scan. I thought the other one, they're very similar, but I just thought the other one was off. And then Ashley's outfit was on the other level. And then something happened too, somewhere along the way with Witcher's moveset. It wasn't right. And she was using this other finishing move, not the witch's brew. So I had to go kind of fix that as well.
A competitor has been eliminated.
This is the other thing, guys. When you're getting into this E-Federation, like when you're getting into the TCW, there's a steep learning curve. You just saw what happened with Ashley. She is wrestling against people that have been in the TCW at least since season 1 or 2. Because of that, every year that you're in, every season that you're in the TCW, you get a bonus point. It's really 4 bonus points, but it's 1 in the 4 categories. So you get matched up every season that you're in. So that means coming in, for people that have been here longer, TJ has got 7 points. Also, Christina, 7 points in those 7 categories. Witcher's got 6, because I think she came in season 2. A lot of people came in season 2. Then of course, you've got the titles that get won too. So all kinds of stuff with that. But kind of reworked TJ's moveset too. Reworked Awesome Christina's moveset. Reworked Witcher's moveset. They're tough to beat. And then so putting them in, see, that's TJ. She has a golden sledgehammer, don't get me wrong, but it's off the top rope and you can't always do that. So then she goes for this maneuver quite a bit more, which I love that. I love that. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it. Just, I wanted to make sure that we could kind of get in. I was like, oh, man, I'm sitting here doing it anyway, you know. So good conversation, good seeing you guys. Hopefully we will be able to do something tomorrow. If it'll be like tomorrow afternoon, we'll have to see how it works out. And then we'll go from there. So really appreciate everything that you guys do. Really appreciate the support. Oh, we might not. I've got to... Sunday's the last day I've got the singles videos loaded, so I've really got to get on that. I meant to do that today, but then today got away from me, so tomorrow I'm going to have to do that. But maybe. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I don't. But yeah, the channel's still growing, even though we haven't been doing a lot of lives. The single stuff, really appreciate all the support. Watch those videos, man. I'm telling you, you want to see where the TCW started and came from? That's where it was
Here's
at.
your winner,
So,
the Tornado T-Joe.
but we will catch all of you guys in the next one. Peace.